And boys and girls, it's Wednesday. Another time, another week. I don't know what I'm doing here. Welcome back for another episode of Camera and Flask. And this week, we're just going to chat it up, talk about whatever. It's kind of like open mic Wednesday here on Jem Schofield's channel. So how are you two gentlemen doing? We've got an out of focus Jem and a beautiful Canon-looking Ben with that classic purple background. How are you guys?
All right, getting by.
Do we want honest answers, or are we gonna be like showbiz people and say we're great? It's like
no, everything's fine. Yeah. Everything's not great, but you know we're battling through.
I'll give you the Judy Garland answer. Yeah, you know.
Go on.
No, I don't know what that is. I think everything is great when you're in front of the camera, and then your life is falling apart. Actually, my life is not falling apart. That's a little bit of a stretch. It's just been a little bit of a rough day. Yeah, it's okay. It's all good. It's all fine. Yeah.
Right.
And Ben's got COVID scares coming from every corner.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to work around that. So that's been like co-workers, talent, family. You know, that's all great stuff. So
I
lots
have
of
to
stress.
ask Ben, are you using a Pro Mist filter right now?
Me, no.
Oh, okay.
He just he's naturally today. He's like a naturally like an 1/8 Pro Mist probably. He's like a quarter. He's like a quarter Pro Mist kind of guy.
Have you guys seen those
it's diffusion makeup rather than a filter.
What? What?
No.
What did you say?
Have you guys seen those new Moment filters?
Yes.
I've been meaning to check those out. They're like $50 a pop, and they have two strengths. Let me look it up real quick.
Really?
Sober and drunk, is that the two strengths, or sober
Moment
and drunk?
Cine Bloom. Moment Cine
Cine Bloom. That's right. Yeah.
Which is essentially
really strong,
like a Pro Mist.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It seems like they're pretty potent. For some reason, I don't have the chat up, so I'm gonna.
A cheap equivalent of a quarter Black Pro Mist would be great.
Yeah, that's what they are for sure.
No?
Benjamin says that you have a healthy glow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sorry, of course I pulled up the video and it's not muted. So I've got the chat up finally. Good to see everyone. We have Shazam, the iPad producer, Rabid Tribble, Benjamin Rowland. Good to see you, Benjamin. Oliver.
Good name.
Ryan. What's up, Ryan? Ellis. Jake. Hey, Jake. Bill. Michael and Sam. Good to see you guys. So this show is going to be more just hanging out, chatting. So prepare questions, prepare topics of interest. And in the meantime, sounds like with this week, the way things are going, we need to beverage it up. So, Ben, what are you going to be sipping on over there at midnight?
I have a sort of a slightly you-ish bottle, Caleb. This is one that's already well used.
Love it.
So I'm going for a Sicilian dry red wine, which I have been working on for a couple of nights. So I'm going to keep going with that because that's a great thing for a little bit of a pepper, but I can sleep with that. So that's what I'm drinking.
Jem, man, your camera is struggling today.
I don't know what the hell's going on.
It really is.
Really having a hard time.
I know, hold on.
Maybe you're not centered or something? Well, while he's doing that, I'll go ahead and jump ahead.
I am, trust me, I'm not centered right now. There's a lot of things about me that are not centered, but that's okay.
Okay. There we go. Do you hit record?
No, I didn't. I'm living on the wild side over here.
All right.
Well, we're enjoying the clock. All in absolute sharp focus. It's lovely.
Wait, what did you just say?
I said clock.
Clock. Okay, got it. Now I understand what you're enjoying. I don't really want to admit the fact that this bottle may have been full not that many days ago. But this is the Glenlivet. It's the Double Oak, which I'm finding is very delightful. And that's what I'm going to have a dram of right now. Caleb, Let's see
Nice,
what's
nice.
not in. Let's see what's
For
not in the
third
bottle.
For the third week in a row, this
And
is going to be a
12th bottle.
brand new unopened bottle. So I mean, can I get
So
an applause
hang
in
on.
the
So
chat here? This is
just
incredible.
before you reveal this, does that then mean that you're doing
Yes.
a bottle of spirits a week?
No,
No.
they're collecting in the
Okay.
cabinet upstairs.
Okay.
Right.
I'm having
He-
self-control
he-
enough
he-
to
yeah,
save
he-
each of these bottles for the show.
Okay. Well done.
I go up to the cabinet. I'm like, Cameron Flask. I'm gonna save it. So,
I
this
don't
one
think
I'm
we're
pretty
getting the
excited
whole
about. Never
picture,
had it
by the way,
before.
Ben. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. This is Knob Creek, small
Yes.
batch, 120 proof.
Ooh,
Not
mama.
100, but 120, age 9 years, single barrel reserve.
Love
so, I've had, because normally I believe
Beautiful
their
color.
stuff's 100, right? Or 110? I can't remember. But
Somebody said my audio's too hot, and that you're dropping a little bit. I'm gonna make some changes if I can in Ecamm. I don't know what the heck's going on over here.
let's see if I can get a good cork on this bad guy without spilling it.
Come on, give it to me.
Oh, get rid of the wax cap. Oh, it's
on.
in there, boys. There we go.
Hey, well, that was a nice
That's
one. I like that
satisfying.
one.
That was a beautiful sound.
All right.
Very nice.
So, what are you guys drinking in the chat? Let me pour myself a little something here. I'm going to sip without water and probably add water because 120. So, cheers. Let's get this party started.
Raise
Sorry.
your
Look
volume
Look how
just a
dark
little
that
bit,
is.
Caleb.
Oh, look how dark it is. Raise my volume. All right.
Yeah, just
Cheers.
a little bit. 360 grad, it's true. You are not somebody. You are everybody. Because you're 360 grad. You're omnipresent. You're 360.
That's shotgun
Your
clean
face is making
booze
funny
right
shapes.
there. Mine?
Yeah. It's because you've no enamel left on your
Powerful.
teeth now. That's why it's stinging.
Come on. Look at this. Look what we got coming in here. Benjamin.
goodness.
Benjamin. Thank you.
Beautiful, Benjamin. Thank
We
you so much.
appreciate it. We're going to rock on
So-
for sure. There it is.
I sometimes drop. Okay, body's a little off. Got it. So I raised the microphone a little bit. Let me know if he needs to go higher.
Yeah.
Right. So what are we talking about, folks? Looks like Josh
Okay,
is rocking some
I-
ranch water. Sorry.
I
go ahead.
have a to switch things around. I would like to ask the hive mind of us and the Flasks about a little techie issue I've been having today, or not a techie issue, but I am doing a multilingual project at the moment, and I need subtitles in 2 languages, so I need to be able to supply subtitle files for both of them. And I want to be able to export out of my editing software out to Vimeo, YouTube, wherever, probably Vimeo so I can protect it, and then have the translators use an online platform to go in and do the subtitles and then export out a subtitle file in whatever format that I can then either put back in embedded, or I can just supply to the broadcaster with that. I found a couple of platforms, but they seem slightly clunky. So any tips on that, I would love to hear them sometime this evening. I've been using one called Clidio, which kind of works quite well, but it's quite hard to sort of scrub through it, and I'm very nervous that halfway through the project, because it's all online, there's no way of saving. If you refresh the window, everything goes. I did like 10 minutes just to try it.
What's
So-
the name of it?
You know, if anyone... Clidio.
Sounds like an STD.
Sounds like... It's exactly what I was going to say.
It sounds like an STD. I don't think you want to use a solution that sounds like an STD. No, come on.
It really does
And
sound like an
I don't
STD.
mean
It
this.
does.
I don't mean a standard picture profile when I say STD. Okay, we understand. By the way, Clay's question is great. We have to get to that in a little while.
It is great, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Something I
Good,
worry
good.
about all
Very,
the time.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, let's keep it in. I don't have any solutions for you, Ben, on that front. Somebody asked me to find an editor who could edit in Mandarin yesterday. The one person that I know could edit in Cantonese. Tommy came in just when I
So
said
close.
STD. Well, you never know what you can catch from one of those new lights. Anything's possible, Tommy.
Oh gosh.
Better behave yourself.
Yeah. All right. So we've got a couple questions already. So why don't we just jump right in?
Okay.
Okay.
Both Sky and Jake asked about the BGH1, so we'll hit that here in a second. But I want to get back to Clay's question because it was pretty interesting. Question for the week: if you lost all of your YouTube followers in a single day and had to start from scratch, would you continue with YouTube and teaching or do corporate video? So let's start with Ben. If you lost every last subscriber, what would you do? Would you delete
if I
your channel?
lost all 40, if I left, so my income would be hit obviously pretty hard if I lost my 47 subscribers. I don't know what I'd do. I'd be destitute, really. It'd be quite a hard thing to decide. I flipped this the other way around completely, given the way that
you'd have to
trying to
throw
work
in
in the
into
middle
corporate
of
video.
this. Yeah, something like that, which is unthinkable. But right now, I'm so envious of you being able to work away from kind of other people right now, and not have to have this constant complication of everything getting cancelled and postponed, and it's a nightmare. Like doing corporate stuff at the moment in this part of the world is exceptionally stressful, and I would love to be working from home. So maybe I go the other way. Maybe I go into that, seeing as I don't really have a YouTube following or have any kind of income from that. So that's kind of
before we
easy
move
for me, I
on.
guess.
Yeah, well, let me do this. Let's flip it around. Let's say you lost every last client. Would you try to do something different, or would you try to start over? Like if every one of your clients, something happened.
Oh, it's such a good question. I honestly don't know. I think if I could start again doing like pushing online training, I think would be the way that I would go. The way the world is right now, I'm starting to get work from that in the UK from a client that I worked with before. They're now doing everything online, stuff that they were doing in person training. Obviously, there's loads and loads and loads of that going on right now. So the way things are now, I'd probably push more for that and things that I could do remotely, I think. I don't know, but I would be kind of if I lost all my clients and started again, you know, I would also consider doing something else completely. I think I'd be quite open to a complete career change, maybe.
Maybe we'll come back to that. And we got a €5 donation from Camille.
Hey,
very nice for the booze. He says.
Thank you very much.
Says.
Love it. Thank you. That's awesome. Your audio's still a little low. At least that's what people are saying. So you could probably. That's you, Caleb. Come on.
I'm going right up here.
Mellow.
How's this? I hate having the microphone in my mouth, but
so do most people.
Let me just turn it up a little bit. I'll turn it up a little bit. Jem, thoughts on that question?
It depends on the week. I mean, I don't have a lot of subscribers either, but so I'm not really deriving income from my channel. I can say that without a doubt, the one thing that won't change is the educational component of what I do. So whether that's direct with client, that's one-on-one, that's part of a post-production world online, it's doing NAB, or it's doing the stuff that I do here on this channel or News Shooter, I'm always looking at things from an educational standpoint, so I don't think that part would change. I don't know. Like right now, I'm quite busy, and it's a pretty interesting project because a lot of it is setting up remote studios, a lot of it is managing post-production teams, and I don't have to do the things that I was really concerned about doing during everything that's going on with COVID, which is in-person production. So my contracts, my agreements with independent contractors don't have any line items related to COVID or anything related to that. So I think I've been lucky there. It's not going to make up for my year. So in a roundabout way, what I'm basically saying is my life is a roller coaster. I think that YouTube, if I lost everything tomorrow, I would find some other avenue to create content that was educational. I would try to still have some sort of connection with people and have that component that goes beyond just the client, because that's important to me. again, it wouldn't be a huge financial hit to lose the channel, but I love having this channel and what we have. So if it became a different platform, the first thing I would probably do is reach out to you, Caleb, and to you, Ben, and say, how do we continue to do this every week just for the sake of us being able to do it? Because we don't do this to grow the channel. We do this because we like it and we like the community aspect of it. So I think that's probably my answer to that. Yeah. What about you? I mean, I think that's a big question for you, Caleb. I mean, that is a huge question.
Yeah, that would be like what I asked Ben, like all livelihood going away. What would you do? I'd probably, the question I believe was, would you start again or start over or change gears or not do it? I would probably just start again. A sick part of me likes that idea, just starting fresh,
Interesting.
Like every once in a while for a split second, I'm like, what if I just got rid of everything and started over just to like clean slate it? Yeah, I would do it. Maybe not camera stuff, but I would do something. Because I've thought of starting other channels, but ain't nobody got time for that.
Has anybody ever done it successfully, Caleb, where they've just said, I'm packing it in, and they've just started an entirely new channel, and it's become...
And just left the other one?
Yeah, and it's become as, if not more successful? Or does that not... Is the likelihood of that...
I'm sure it exists. I can't off the top of my head think of something.
Yeah.
I guess people have left channels and started their own channel, left a company channel to start their own. Yeah. And that seems to have worked out for some people. But I can't think of off the top of my head someone who's done that. The worst thing you can do, pro tip, is take a channel that you've built and change topic completely. Like if I tomorrow am like, you know what, I'm talking about mechanical keyboards or computers from now on. It's not going to work. Just stop making videos at all and just start a new channel.
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of talk about the Panasonic. What is it? BGH1. Any quick thoughts? Mine is it's added some cool stuff, but nothing that's like, wow.
Yeah.
Sentence.
To me, the most interesting thing about it is the fact that it has both Genlock and time code, and it's under $2,000 US. I'm not saying that the rest of it gets me really excited, based on the fact that we have other things in the market that to me are in similar price points and are somewhat more interesting. I mean, the fact that Blackmagic has a camera that's a 6K camera, with a larger sensor that has Blackmagic RAW, that has one of the worst form factors of any camera ever, but still has all of that stuff, is still probably more interesting to me than this new camera. Though I think it's exciting that they've come out with something. I'm much more interested in what they do in the EVA 2 space, if that comes to bear fruit at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be in a room with 12 cameras or setting up 12 cameras, the fact that you can control and link all 12 is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's if it was like $1,700.
Yeah.
It could be kind of fun to Z-cam it, kind of put the XLR adapter on it, side handle, do the whole thing. But I have no problem with Micro Four Thirds, and that sensor especially I really dig. So, yeah, interesting, but not, probably not for everybody.
Yeah. Clay has a good comment about that. Would consider it if it had internal ND. If they had pulled it,
definitely.
If they had pulled off which essentially Canon has pulled off with the C70. I understand that they're in very different price points, but lest we forget what Canon has done with the C70 is really a leap forward, because if you look at the size of that camera body, the fact that they have built-in ND up to 10 stops like they do in the C300 series and the C500 series is pretty remarkable that that's sitting in such a small camera body. And I think it proves that going forward that we can start to have ND, especially in these box cameras. I mean, why couldn't the box just be slightly bigger so that it can, take into consideration what's necessary in the front of the camera, to have that built-in ND. And by the way, Tommy, you're right. Kai left and started fresh and did quite well. So that's a good example of somebody leaving their channel and starting fresh. So I think that I think it could be done for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really curious to see what Panasonic does in the next year or two. I feel like it's a big pivotal moment for them. A lot of refreshes inbound, so it'll be fun to watch. So we should probably talk about iPhones briefly. Maybe not spend the rest of the show talking about it, but it's kind of interesting. So Shazam said, "What do you guys think of the HDR 4K 60p 10-bit Dolby Vision in the upcoming iPhone 12 Pro Max?" I still don't think those cameras are like. It's. I can't wait for the day when it finally gets to like production level. Like a lot of us are seriously considering using something like that for work, outside of the oddball thing here or there. But man, is it getting good! Especially, it seems like this refresh a lot went into the viewing experience. They were really talking a lot about HDR viewing on an iPhone, which sounds kind of silly, but at the same time, so much content is consumed on those, phones.
Yep.
So it's kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think? Are you upgrading, any of you? I'm probably not going to.
Well, I will be interested for sure. Except I'm sort of tied into Android because I need 2 SIMs. And I haven't read the full spec of the new Apple offerings, but I don't think they've put a dual SIM slot in. And so that kind of keeps me stuck there. So I am in the market for a new phone at the moment, but I'm struggling to make decisions on, from Android. There's ones with excellent cameras that are maybe not great phones, and I don't know. I'm still shopping around. There's quite a lot of the more budget end of the market that I'm kind of interested in, the Xiaomis, and I know there's quite a lot of that stuff's not available in the States. But incredible spec cameras, really good value. I mean, the problem with the iPhone for me, is other than the issue with the dual SIM thing, is the cost. It's just insane, and I don't do the getting it from the with the phone contract and paying crazy amounts per month. My whole existence the last few years has really been based on trying to get my monthly commitments down to an absolute minimum. So for the last 2 or 3 phones I've been buying them outright, and then just getting better deals on my phone contracts, on the SIM card contract. So
got it.
At the moment, that's a huge amount to lay out if you're buying that cash. Now, I know a lot of people do, but for me, that's a long way to. What's the retail on that? Do we know yet on the new one?
They have a new small one. I think correct me if I'm wrong, I want to say $600-700 US.
Yeah, and then you're going up to what, $1,200-1,300.
I mean, if you want to go like the biggest Pro, you're looking at
for the
like
big one.
12.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's just
a
lot of good lenses or camera bodies. It's a long way towards.
Yeah, to
Real
me,
quick,
the Dolby.
go
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick, just want to say, got some more friends in. Thanks, guys, for joining us. We've got Curtis Judd, 360 grad, Oliver, David, post color gear. Just trying to quickly scan to see if I got anyone to pick at Tayu. And glad to have you guys here. Anyway, sorry, Jem.
No, good. I mean, I'm still on an XS, and it's doing okay. There's some battery issues with it after having it for so long. But I think that, I have a camera that already has portrait mode. So I'm already kind of getting that faux, larger aperture for the photos. I definitely don't have the upgrades in terms of low light that you're getting with the newer versions, last generation, this generation. To me, it's going to become more interesting, not necessarily with 10-bit Dolby Vision in a smartphone, but I'm going to be a lot more excited when they're not going to put a Micro Four Thirds sensor inside of a smartphone. But what they will do eventually with the processors is they'll put portrait mode into video. And when we can go in and we can basically have a Lytro in our pocket, but it's an iPhone or an Android device, then to me that's exciting. And so I don't know. I don't feel the pull this generation. I'm sure that if I got it, there would be a big upgrade in terms of some of the images it could create. I don't think it's going to give me an additional experience that I want to drop another $1,200. If the AT&T had a special where it cost me $15 a month to go into a new, 12 Pro, then I might do it. But I don't think I'm going to just run out and pre-order that. So that's kind of how I feel about it. How about you, Caleb? Would you do it or not?
No, I have an 11 Pro. I'm happy with it. I don't think they changed anything lens-wise on. I think you have to go up to the Pro and maybe even the big one. I can't remember, but not enough to pull me. And I hate phone payments, so it's probably different here in the U.S., but you can do the monthly thing or just pay it off early or just buy it. But we're with Verizon, so we just kind of pay it off and as quickly as possible, and just be done with it. And so, yeah, probably not going to do anything with that. Nothing huge for me. So, yeah, that's about that. It's exciting, though, how close they're getting. And those processors, man, they're insane. Can't wait till you can buy a MacBook with them.
I know, for sure.
Okay, so let's see. What do we got here, folks? Questions, chats. Keep hitting us with what you got. A lot of people talking about phones. I thought there was a question up earlier. Let's see if I can go up and find it. I feel like I'm close. Oh, Josh, real quick. He's talking about VHS camcorder. So he watched the video I did on it. HDMI converters did not work with the Ninja 5. Have you gotten it to work with yours? There is only white and yellow, no red. So the deal with that is there wasn't stereo back then. So your white is both left and right because it's just mono. It's funny. Cassie and I were watching, what was it? Blade Runner. She had never seen Blade Runner. So we were watching that. And at the end, it's like, ooh, Dolby stereo in select theaters. And it's just crazy to think back, like back when, like, whoa, different sounds out of this speaker and this one. It's crazy. Good times.
It is.
You guys seen any chat, any chitty chats, questions?
I see Cripple Hammer being dropped on the M50 Mark II. A lot of chatter in here about the FX6. So, yeah.
Nothing on that, right?
Yeah, I kind of feel like the FX6 is Sony's camera to basically screw up. They're either going to get it right or they're going to really just botch it. And, with the C70, that's what they're going to be up against. So let's see what they come up with. I mean, again, I feel like of all the cameras that have come out recently, that C70, and this is not, Canon fanboy speaking, I just think that Canon has hit so many of the things they need to hit on that camera. I still wish there was a RAW out. I still wish that there was a ProRes RAW or a Blackmagic RAW option with that camera. I guess it's technically possible even with the new Nikon cameras. Nikon, sorry, Ben. Cameras that there's, that's interesting because they're announcing that there's going to be a Blackmagic RAW option, but I guess you can also go ProRes RAW out of the new camera or cameras. So I'd love to see more of that kind of stuff, but I just am really, I'm really looking forward to seeing what Panasonic and Sony do next in that price point. We're talking about that $500 to $6,500 price point, which I think is so important for the industry in terms of thinking about an owner-operator camera or like a double pack of those cameras. So yeah.
I'm just laughing at Curtis Judd. Hey, how about the Nikon Z6 Mark II?
That's gonna be for Caleb.
Man.
Because you had great experience with that camera.
Oh, yeah, the first one. I bought it, sat it on the shelf for 3 months, then I sold it at a massive loss because they weren't selling any, so they dropped the price.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. At least I think you're joking there, Judd.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, no, it's really interesting. First, I see a lot of people talking about the M50, and they're saying it's crippled. I'd love to know how you think it's crippled. I obviously haven't played with one, but I mean, can you do 4K with autofocus? What's
You
the deal
can.
with
I don't
that?
know what the
Or is it
crop.
just-
Can somebody get? Yeah.
Yeah, is there a crop in 4K? Because I noticed it was released, and I'm like, man, that'd be a great little streaming camera. Maybe a second or third streaming camera.
Yeah.
It's cheap.
Yeah, real cheap. So that's cool. And then I saw somewhere in here Tommy was talking about FX6 or A7S3 with the shared lens mount or red Komodo. That red, man, part of me wants to make a move on that, but it's probably silly.
I'm not saying that it's just such a cool little thing. It just,
Yep.
like, you know, you look at the C70, it's great, and I may well end up buying that, but the little red, it just looks such a sweet thing. It's great. Did you see the thing with Michael Bay in his swimming pool with it?
Oh no.
No.
With his green on. It's great.
I'll check that out.
I don't know if I want to see Michael Bay in the swimming pool and a red Komodo, but that's okay. Send me a link. I'll watch it after a few drinks.
Nice.
Okay, fine.
What I saw some comment here that I thought was interesting, which is, anyone use the Aperture B7C, which are obviously the smart bulbs. I have 2 on order, but they were supposed to be here already. I got them from DVE store, and I kind of pre-ordered them, and they still haven't come in. So I'm waiting for those to show up. But I'm looking forward to having a couple in the kit. I'm not one of those people with those lights. Yeah, having a 6-pack of those lights or 10 of them. I just doesn't make sense for me.
Not to me, it really does. Not for the lights in using them because you're going to put them in a huge space, but just being able to program patterns with them.
Yeah.
I think if you were doing, particularly if you're doing music videos and things, there's some amazing things you can do with a big group of those. But for me, that's a rental, because rental houses seem to be buying those in big multi-packs, and you can get that with the case. Is it 8 that they sell it with in there? With the case, with the charging thing in it.
bulbs?
I think it's 8. Yeah, it's 6 or 8. I think it's 6 maybe. Or the MCs are you talking about?
The MCs are...
Yeah. No, not the MCs, the bulbs.
6 or 8.
Yeah, the bulbs, I don't know.
Yep.
I have a feeling it was
if
8,
Aperture's watching, I'm sorry, / it's still a great light. Love the bulb. The bulb's so great. But because I had to wait so long for the bulb, what I found myself doing is just taking an MC on top of the socket. You know, with the little rubber housing.
Just resting. Oh, speaking of,
Yeah.
I'm going to go out of focus. Hold on, I'm going to show you guys something.
What you mean you're going to go out of focus? What's new?
Such an
The
asshole.
whole stream's been going out of focus.
Such an asshole. This is something that was sent to me, which is the Litolite 5C from Nanlite, and it's similar form factor to the MC, but apparently it's considerably brighter. It doesn't have their whole ecosystem, but this sucker is bright. It's definitely brighter than the MC for sure. But it's an interesting little light, and it's RGBW. It has all of the little special. Oh yeah, it has all the special effects.
WW?
It's WW. Yes, sir.
Nice.
Yes, sir. So there
cool.
you go. Yeah, so that's kind of a cool little light, and I still love all those. So that's similar to what you were talking about, Caleb, which is taking a practical fixture and just resting it on the top, and you're still getting a similar type of effect to it.
Yeah,
and you
so
can
I would
rest
say
that.
if you need the screw in, threadable bulb, then obviously the Aperture B7C is phenomenal, and it's a great light. It's amazing how bright it is. But I'm finding I'm using the MC for stuff like that. I'll just take a lamp and just literally prop it on where the bulb would go, and just doing that nonstop. Man, those things are so dang good, and they're magnetized. Like I said. Let's see here. I'm gonna try to keep up here with the chat. and make sure I'm in order because we're kind of all over the place. Let's see. So I'm going to go up here. Post color gear. Red is expensive ecosystem to get into, Tommy. I've never been compelled for that reason. Yeah, but that every time I look at that camera, I'm like, any battery, or it's a universal battery.
Exactly.
Their media
cards.
You can buy whatever you want. Gear,
it's
like
the first.
rigging,
this is why the first time it's attractive to me, because you don't have to go and put up with all that shit with media.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could buy their fancy adapter or just get the $100 Canon one and just do whatever you want. So I'm very curious. I'd love to at least try one.
Yeah.
Same.
Roberto saying he's using the Z6 along with 2 other Nikons for a 2-person interview on Friday. Ninja versus Adamus sync module. Okay, not sure. Let's see here.
RF lenses not being supported on Komodo. Well, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, quite honestly, the fact that you get an RF to EF mount with built-in ND, to me, is much more exciting on a Komodo than being able to use RF lenses. Beautiful lenses. I mean, the 15 to 35 I've been using on and off since the summer, and I love that lens. I think it's fantastic. But we know what the shadow in the corner is. Don't worry about it, David. Just shh, be quiet. I have no idea what that means, by the way. So I think that I'm much more excited about an RF to EF mount adapter with the ND than anything else. And it's
Agreed.
Probably, I mean, I don't even care about that, to be honest. I think
it would be cool.
Yeah.
And
It
I'm
would.
sure it'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, if it's essentially an EF mount with a ton of extra features, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's so flexible. You have that RF mount because the flange distance on it's tiny. It means you can adapt it to absolutely anything. It's so flexible that it's a really good move.
Yeah. Put the Metabones speed booster on the RF, and now you've got close to full frame.
Yep.
It's hot.
360
Sorry,
grad, does the MC get freaking hot like the ALMX? It does not. 360 grad. That
Not
light
as
does.
hot, but it gets warm.
It gets warm, but the MX does get quite warm, and that's a pretty high output light. Built like a tank, though. That MX. Uncomfortable.
I'm going to go up here. I'm going to try to chronologically. I don't want to miss since we're making this all about the chat here. Small Brown Fox still got my F3 and FM2s. Love them. FM2s. What is that? FM2s.
FM2s.
Do you know what that is?
Not the Nikon camera, the old? No. Is that?
Yeah, the old. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. Well, maybe. If you're saying that.
Any chance?
Thank you.
This is GWiz 5150. Any chance of a perfect storm, in quotes, podcast with the Three Musketeers along with Tommy, Curtis, Gerald, and possibly Mr. Bloom, too? Maybe a Christmas special? That would be pretty wild.
There you go.
That would be an intense stream. That'd be awesome.
That would be great. That's an old
I hope so.
Nikon F. My grandfather's.
From
the 60s. There you go.
Dadgum.
That's Grandpa's. So,
very nice.
Yeah.
Tommy's making a whole bunch of noise about lights. Are we talking about lights?
No, come on. Tommy's talking about lights?
All caps.
That's amazing. And so he should. And talk about somebody who has a focus, by the way. That's a channel Tommy and I spoke in the early days, and that was not how that channel started. And he did figure out what he wanted to focus on, and that's how he's built his audience far more successfully than I have. But that'll continue on till the end of time. That's the way it goes.
You know what's why your channel hasn't done as well, Jim? I'll tell you.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Tommy's
reasons.
got it figured out. No, there's one reason, and Tommy has it nailed. You need a room that is from all sides completely and utterly covered in foam.
Yes.
That's the ticket. That's how he's done it. That Tommy. I'm just kidding. I love you, Tommy.
Even worse, he goes, I have hair. I have hair. Yeah, that's why.
There you go.
Well, then again, you can't say that because look at Caleb. So, but part of that's by choice.
There you go. Apparently, I haven't. Have you changed the foam situation, Tommy? We'll have to go back and catch up.
Yeah.
Have any of you had failing SD cards?
Yes.
Yes.
I've
a lot.
I've never had one just stop working. Mine have all been mechanical problems. The lock switch decided it's going to lock every time you put it in the camera.
I've had that.
Or those little tiny plastic fins that separate the contacts break.
Yeah, but you can shear those off and they still work because it doesn't affect the connectors underneath. But
right, but like, or the SD card is peeling apart.
Yes, I've definitely had that a few times. I've had one fairly expensive 128 gig SD card just completely stopped working about a month ago. It was a SanDisk, but I can't remember exactly which model, and it wasn't that old either. It's quite scary.
Yep. I had two PNWs go. The little lock, it broke off. But I called the company, and, more power to them. I sent them pictures of it. I gave them my receipt from where I bought them, and they sent me 2 replacement ones. Because most cards do have a lifetime warranty. So the bad part of it is if you lose part of a job, of course. That's the sucky part. But if you want to get them replaced, it's pretty good. Curtis, that's all smoke and mirrors, by the way, your comment about me being everywhere. That's a bunch of baloney. And Neil, I appreciate what you're saying, but I will say this, Neil. I think that somebody who is creating in-depth, good quality content on YouTube is absolutely still working for a living. That is very much a job. And can be a more than a full-time commitment. It just depends on what kind of content they're creating, I think. Yeah. What's with Caleb sounding too soft? He's just low key. He's enjoying his bourbon, people.
What the heck?
Let him be.
Am I too quiet with my levels? Or are they just
I don't know.
Weird?
Can you turn your levels up or just move the mic closer to you?
I can. I feel like I keep turning it up. There we go. Up, 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 up.
All right. Let's see how this all
goes. We'll see if that's better.
Okay.
Okay. I'm trying to see
Lots
here
of love for old Mamiya cameras, which is nice to see. I started, that was my first professional gig as a photographer. It was for a company, and I inherited a full set of Mamiya RB lenses, camera. Yummy. Loved shooting with that thing. So 6.7, and it was all on positives. So getting those positives back, putting them on the light box was just a magical thing. I loved it. And when I left the company, I bought that camera for nothing. They just said, don't take the piss completely, but how much would you give us for all of it? Because they didn't replace me. Essentially, I left the company, and then they continued to take me on a freelance basis, and it was a really sweet deal. So I got the thing for next to nothing. Didn't use it because I then switched over to digital. In that time I was at that company, digital sort of hit home, and I sold it for the whole lot for about £400, which is like $500 at the moment, something like that. And it was a stupid thing because they've now gone way up in value again. That was a stupid thing to do, but beautiful cameras.
Yeah, I would love to play with some medium format stuff. Shazam, the iPad producer, Cameron Flask is my favorite show on YouTube. Well, thank you so much, man.
Come on. Bless you.
Beautiful.
David says Jem was on Indie Mogul last week.
I was not. I
wonder if you
I
were,
probably will never be invited on that show.
They often use B-roll from other channels, so your face must have come up. They'll usually they'll be talking about now we can throw some diffusion on. Diffusion is really helpful, and they'll just grab clips from other YouTubers.
It was probably a shot at David Cross, the comedian, and I bet you it wasn't me. So there you go.
Bryce says, look up guide on C200. Hey, that's Jem. Look up videos on Zeiss Milvis. Hey, that's Jem. Will you be doing a series on the
Jeb?
C70?
Jeb though. It's my doppelganger Jeb, not Jeb. So
Nope, still sounds the same. Apparently, people are still upset about my audio levels. I don't know what's going on, folks.
I got you fully cranked over here in the interview. I turned my level down. I'm trying to do whatever we can. Is this better? I don't know.
No, that was not.
That was bad. Awesome. I see. This. All right. Enough of all that talk. Curtis, great to have you stop by. I appreciate it. Good to see you.
Thanks, brother. Good to see you, man.
yeah.
Hope we can.
Yeah.
I can look up to you in person one day, soon.
That's so funny. I have looked up to Curtis before. I sat in the director's chairs at NAB with him, and he was next to me, and I was like this the whole time.
You need like a chiropractic.
I said I went to the chiropractor. I was like, I don't smoke weed, so I had to go see a chiropractor in Vegas after that. So it's just not my thing. So ridiculous. Okay, what is this? Oh, here's one. Gee whiz, 5150. Any experience with power zoom lenses for documentary or live event work?
Yes, for live event work. I've used them on kind of broadcast studio style cameras. And it is a handy thing. And then when you go back to sort of normal work and you don't have that anymore, you kind of get a little bit reliant on it. But no real recommendations on anything.
I love what Sony does with the A7 series, where you can go in and you can basically double, and you can take a prime lens. You can take a 25 and effectively give it a 50 field of view. I think that's great. It depends on what resolution you're shooting in and how much you can move in, but that kind of takes a prime lens and makes it a zoom. Or you can take your zooms and make them into lenses that reach even further. So if you've never used that in an A7 series, it's a pretty great feature. I think it's something I wish other people did. You've used that, right, Caleb? What do you laugh at that?
Oh yeah, just this comment. 360 grad Shazam, me too. But you have to search for Gem's green screen.
Oh, don't do that.
Ejection video. It just reads weird.
Yeah, don't do that.
So
that was a long time ago.
Shazam is a hardcore follower, man. He's been catching up on the content. Love it.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
But yeah, no, I agree. I think everyone should just copy Sony, because the other day I'm building right now I have this little room because we expanded in the studio. We got this tiny room, really small, and I'm like, hey, this would be great for like a dedicated top-down room. So I've got a bench in there. I called Jem, excuse my dog. I called Jem the other day and I was like, talk to me. I need like a 4x4 silk, and he recommended magic cloth and the whole thing. So I'm setting this up and I'm like, oh, it'd be kind of cool if I had a dedicated camera that was all remote controlled, right? Maybe a Black Magic or something where I have a CFast going down a long CFast, USB-C cable to like a external hard drive thing, and I could like control it. And I'm like, oh, I need a zoom lens that I can control remotely, because you can do that with the A10 Mini. And I looked into it. I'm like, well, rest in peace that idea, because for like a Canon like servo zoom lens, forget it. It's over.
Yep.
It's
but in Sony land, you can control it. It's amazing. So yeah. Ooh, here's a good question. David Carroll. I'm going to be on set in the next weeks doing grip set dressing. Any advice? Directed at the C47.
Well, we're all the C47.
And Rabbit Tribble will come back to you in a second.
Yeah. Just so you know, those videos are from a long time ago, but that's okay. I'm going to be on. I don't actually care. That's the beauty of the internet. Once you put something out there, it's there forever. I'm going to be on set for the next weeks doing grip set dressing. Any advice? Well, those are kind of two different things. So it really has to do with, which of those two you're going to be tasked with the most. So if you're going to be doing set dressing, you're really going to be working with the art department. So that's a whole, different skill set than grip, which is, at least in this country, is going to be setting basically support equipment and then also lighting control equipment. So that's not true in other countries like in Europe, But a grip here is basically going to be setting up light stands. You're going to be rigging. You're going to be, maybe being a dolly grip. And then you're going to also maybe even be setting up tripods and stuff like that. But if somebody needs to diffuse a light, you're going to be the one setting up a 4x4 or whatever it's going to be. I love how they're reading the comments and this smirk's going on over here. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I have a quick question for small. No, go on. Sorry.
I was just gonna say sandbags and keep the tighten toward the weight with your C stands. That's it.
Grips. Take a big bag of Coke. You'll be fine. You'll make friends. Okay. So.
Where the heck did that come from?
Go to movie set memes. Like it's a group on Facebook. It's hilarious, but like the grips always get a big kicking on there for all being coke-addled reprobates. It's a really funny thing. So go on there. It's hilarious. Sign up for your daily dose of amusement. Small Brown Fox, I have a question for you.
Judging by Ben's levels, I'm not surprised that they're saying that Caleb sounds low. Because I just basically, I can no longer hear out of my left ear. That's all. So
okay, sorry. I'll come back down again. The Small Brown Fox, your friend working on the set of the new Batman movie, currently filming in Liverpool. I have a question because something big has been filming in the Lake District this week with a huge unit and no one knows what's going on. So if you could fill me in if that is Batman, which we were speculating about whether that was what was filming in the Lake District this week, I'd be really interested to hear. And obviously a little myth because I didn't get any location work out of it, but there we go.
I know what it was filming. Shazam. It was a reboot of Gem and the Holograms. So just so you know, in the Lake District. So that's what we got. So it's all
and
good.
Just like that, boys and girls, we're down to the final 10 minutes. If this was a higher production show, we'd have like final 10 and like flames come up. So we're entering the rapid round. So hit us with what you got, and we'll try to blow through this here chat. There's one question in here. Guys, would you do narrative work if you could? From Rabid Triple. Oh, there we go. The final 10. Final 8, that is.
Say it again, sorry.
Minutes to find the button. The final 8 minutes.
The show's over.
The show's over.
Green screen.
Exactly. Would I do narrative work if I could? If there was like just bags of money sitting around, yes. But for me personally, I'm over narrative, totally done with it, because it's all butt hole until you get good talent, like actors.
Mm-hmm.
I'm over it. I'm done with the cheap short films and the complete BSing everybody. You got to have really good people. I don't care about the gear with narrative. So for me, it's all about documentary. It's a lot easier to get a good story with documentary than it is to get a good story with narrative, where you're faking it. So I'd much rather take a nice little baby kit and go out and shoot a mini doc, a docu-series, whatever. But I'm over the whole narrative thing, unless there's money for the talent. Not just money for like big sets and all, big money, big cameras. None of that matters. You got to hire amazing people, and that's expensive. Or hard to find.
Yeah.
It's a big one. Come on, guys. Check it out. From G-Wiz.
Wow.
Here it goes.
$14.99 Australian? Jizwiz.
Australian.
Jizwiz. I'm so sorry.
Oh, my God.
Jem's channel's about to be deleted.
So let's go back to that earlier question. If your YouTube channel was... it's great to have you back.
For real. That's reality
G-Wiz
for you now.
5150. Unbelievable. Yeah, it's been nice knowing everybody for, I really appreciate it. Wait, hold on. Let me wait like an old man. I'm looking for it.
There it is.
Oh my is right, Eric. Let me just say, It's digressing so fast. You have I'll never get monetized. I never got monetized to begin with, Bryce. Okay, become a member. That's all I got to say. You'll be the first one. Welcome to the C47. Eugene's coming in crying like a baby. I love it.
Oh, man.
It's
So
you guys
G
are ridiculous.
Wiz 5150. Thank you so much. He says, thanks as always, guys. I've missed your shows live for a couple of months, and it's good to get back in the chat. Well, we're glad you're back in the chat, not just because of the donation.
Yeah. What about Clay? Before
Absolutely.
I forget, I'm still hoping for a Home Depot grip challenge. If you have a GH5 and a 25, 1.7, and a Deity mic, you can spend up to $600 US at Home Depot for your grip gear. Being cute for you, Ben. Oh my goodness. Could be fun. I would do like we have to. All right, we'll think about that one. That could be fun, maybe nowadays.
Yeah.
Until you
And
turn on
Jem's
your camera.
OnlyFans thing
In the car
is
with pipe.
there's a lot of speculation about your OnlyFans career, Jem.
What does that mean?
But that's only you don't know what OnlyFans is.
No.
Okay.
Is that something?
Do you want to tell him or shall I?
Yeah,
Oh,
tell me.
neither of you know. Jem, what you want to do is set
I'm
up
pretty
something
sure
with the
it's-
So,
mannequins.
hold on.
You could run something with the
Hold on, I
mannequins.
can't hear you, Ben, because you're yelling in my ear. You're like my 12-year-old son. What are you saying? Say that again.
You would need a lot of red LED lights, Jem.
Yeah, and the mannequins. But I think that you do well on. I think you do well on OnlyFans with the mannequins. There's a lot of weird people out there.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
When you finish this, between the end of this show and the new shooter show, go and look up OnlyFans. And
I
then
don't want to.
Honestly,
Don't.
people are making a lot of all these people in lockdown who've lost their jobs, their income streams have been cut. They've been making a killing on OnlyFans.
I don't know
I
what
think
this
this could
is
be
you're
good for
talking
you.
about.
I honestly think this could be good for you. I think it's such a niche thing. I think it could be really good for you. Honestly. You write
my
it down.
comment
If that's what
earlier
you do.
didn't completely rip this channel off of the internet, then Ben's comment just did. Oh my gosh! What are we gonna do, folks? What are we gonna do?
I can show. Eric says he can show his gem. Fans only. Don't look at my gem. That's ridiculous. I don't want you looking at my gem. Keep your eyes off my gem. Is that what you're saying, Eric?
LMAO, Jem, and Caleb are wholesome dads.
Well, I have no idea what this thing. What's it called? OnlyFans?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Oh my goodness.
Let's see here. Caleb and Jem look like before and after pictures. So we're at that point in the chat. That's amazing. Control Shift N before you Google that. I think Caleb's mic is shot. Wow. Apparently I'm having problems. Oh. Hang on a second. So on my end, that was
Ben
clipping
spoke-
the whole time. I just kept turning it up.
Ben spoke so loudly that he actually clipped your mic. He blew out your mic in Illinois, is what happened. It was so loud.
Yeah.
This is so sad. All right, we have 2 minutes to
Yeah.
let
We
this
got 2
chat
minutes,
just
folks.
like
Let's redeem
it's
this,
like going
shall
down. Yes, please.
Next show has to be alcohol free. I agree, Eugene. So
It's me going to bed tonight, googling OnlyFans, and I like throw up.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
So we've got 2 minutes left. Next week. Don't read the comment. Don't read the chat, folks. Just focus right here. Next week, we're gonna come up with a topic. It's gonna be great. I will say this show has been phenomenal. We should do more of this chat-heavy stuff,
I
or
love
have a
it.
quick topic at the beginning and just go
Yeah,
ham.
it's just great fun.
Because it's fun.
Love it.
It's super
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
So above all, I want to thank you guys for hanging in there with us, for hanging out. Super fun. So let's do this again every single Wednesday, same exact time. We start at 6 o'clock Eastern, and other times across the U.S. Do the math; it's good for you. And just like Shazam said, new shooters next. Jem will be over there if you want to keep this party going. as well as Eric, who I saw in the chat. So Eric, good to see you. And let's call this one a day, shall we, boys? Before we get into too much trouble. Chat's going down fast. Agreed.
Chat's going down.
Agreed, Bill.
Keep your tongue in your mouth, small brown fox. I see that. You sneaky fox. Ridiculous. Next week, we'll do it again.
We'll do it again.
Love you guys.
And one of you two will have to corral these crazy, crazy kids in the chat here.
I'm all for it. Let's do it.
All right, 6 o'clock.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you, guys. Love you all. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next time.
Beautiful. All the best.
Night all.